Hello?
Oh,
Oh, hi, is that Jim
hi.
Garcia?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great, and thank you, so much for having me and being a part of the whole JG acoustic thing. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the tour. I saw you a fair few years ago now, I think 2013 at the Soundwave with KYUSS Lives, and I was really excited because I've been a fan for, 5 or 6 years of KYUSS, so, it was cool for me to finally go see them. How did that tour go for you? Did you enjoy it?
It was great. It really was great to play with Bruno Febri and Brent Bjork and then Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity. What a band!
Yeah.
They're a really, really, really cool band, and just stoked to be a part of that project. But also on the flip side of the coin, very much looking forward to coming down there with my guitar player Aaron Groban and doing some of these songs acoustically. Not only doing KYUSS tracks, but even new songs from the new Electric record and trying them out acoustically. So yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah, I was just listening to your new album, the Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues, and it's almost hard to kind of put your music in a category. It's like a bit folk, bluegrass, very old school sounding. Where'd you come up with the idea to kind of go in a more unplugged direction? What were the kind of main influences?
Well, it was more of a challenge, more of anything. I had to sit down and, today's a little bit of a press day, and to have, journalists ask me why I did it, and the song selection is a little bit different because I never really, thought about it in depth too much. And, so it was more of, I think, more of a challenge thing where I wanted just to explore and, be, just get on the explorative type of vibe and try some of these songs acoustically and not hide behind a wall of sound with bass and percussion and drums and keyboards, but, more of stripped down, one guitar, one vocal, and see what it sounds like. And Aaron and I think we're, for lack of better words, are equal to the task, and it's something that's very, very challenging. Either you show up and you can play some of these songs acoustically with one vocal and one guitar with absolutely no sound effects, but just doing them, almost a cappella. It's a challenge, and that's what we aim to do, and that's what we're going to do. And we have 4 exclusive shows in Australia, and we want to invite people to come out and hopefully enjoy what we do in our living room in Palm Springs, Yucca Valley, or Morongo Valley here in the Coachella, here in the desert, in the California desert. Yeah. And so that's why we're doing it.
Cool. Now, normally with your heavier stuff, you've got to probably sing pretty loud to be heard over the drums and the bass guitar. You kind of have to change your vocal approach a bit when you're doing, more toned down, unplugged stuff.
Absolutely. It's when I first introduced this idea to Aaron, my guitar player, it was a good idea at first, and then we got into the rehearsal studio and we started, doing it just him and I. It wasn't such a good idea after all because we were naked, we were more exposed, and everything is going to be more, looked at microscopically. Yeah. And so, but I think that Aaron is such a great guitar player. We could look at that on a microscopic level and look at his playing and look at the feeling and the emotion, and then the vocal on top of that. Actually singing and not hiding behind this wall of sound, it's a challenge, and that to me is important in my life right now. Aaron and I are constantly being challenged by bettering ourselves not only live, but even in the studio. But to do it in Australia is something that's just a little bit more special than the States, even Europe. We've done this in the States acoustically just for one show, and then we've done several tours acoustically over in Europe. But Australia is always it's a little bit closer to my heart. So we're stoked on it, and we're glad to be coming back down there.
Yeah, for sure. You're kind of like, one of the godfathers, or the godfather of the term desert rock. I know you're kind of one of the earliest guys doing it out. Kind of, you did it all yourself. You set up the stages and did your own promotions and, your own lighting and power. How much of an effort was that to do back in the days? Was it like a full team, like behind you, helping you out? Was it, did it cost you a lot? Was it, time consuming?
No, I think that for the most part, the whole desert scene got blown a little bit out of proportion. Largely due from KYUSS and from some of the other desert acts. But it wasn't that difficult. Music is a necessity for all of us. I mean, at least for some of Josh and Brant and Scott and Nick Oliveri and it's anytime it's a necessity, you're going to find a way to do things. You're going to find a way to make it happen. You're going to find a way to come up with the bread to have a room to rehearse or have a garage to rehearse or get that extra, head or amp or cabinet. You're gonna find a way to do something like that. That's all it was merely a necessity, and it still is to this day. Is having it be a part of your life, but the balance between family life versus going in and jamming out with some of your brothers. That's kind of the difficult part. The power and the location and the equipment, that wasn't the hard part. The hard part was balancing, and still is, personal life versus having to have all your spare time be devoted to music, and how much spare time you have. And there's not a lot in my life right now, but just to be able to play 4 shows down in Australia and having just a little bit of spare time to go down there and play songs from the new Electric record, songs from my past and present, that's special. And I try to keep my eye on the ball, which my eye on the ball is being thankful that I'm able to do this, that my wife allows me to do this, that my son and my daughter allow me to do this. And it was merely, and it still is merely, a necessity where I need to have some alone time. I need to write music. I still genuinely enjoy being on stage and writing and singing. So it's just a necessity.
I saw you did some reunion shows last year with Slow Burn. Just wondering, why did you originally break up, and how did you get back to reforming? So,
why we broke up is still a little bit of a enigma for me. We were all young. We were all in our early 20s, and it was a little bit of a change of attitude, change of mood, change of direction. And anybody who knows anything about my career knows that I don't stay in one spot for very long. And and this acoustic tour that we do in Australia, that we're doing in Australia, is an exact example of me being exploratory, me being explorative, and going off on a different tangent. Slow Burn was a great, to me, my personal opinion. That band, Chris, Brady, and Damon, were a great 3-piece band. So to be able to share the stage again with these guys, or whether it be in Las Vegas, or, in France, where we did a couple of these reunion shows, was a huge pleasure. And I feel very grateful and honored that I can still be a part of that. And that's all it was just a reunion for four guys to get back in the room, all of our families. We all have kids. We all have wives. And to get back in the room with all of that and to be able to share the stage again, that's all it was just us getting.
To make another call, press ###